But we just have a lovely, a brief program here. And, you know, obviously we are here for a very, very special and important person in Shari Semelsberger, TTD Secretary Treasurer. And, you know, I wanted to just say a couple words here really quick, but first I wanted to acknowledge, you know, we have a number of really, you know, leaders in this country that have decided to come and celebrate her and her career. We have Acting Secretary of Labor, Julie Sue. We have the Chair of the National Transportation Board, Jennifer Hamady. The President of the AFL-CIO, Liz Shuler. I'm going to introduce one of our local leaders from 689 in a moment here, but we also have several other union presidents who decided to join us today. Mike Baldwin from the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen. Dave Spiro from the Professional Aviation Safety Specialists. Sarah Nelson from the Association of Flight Attendants. Ed Dowell from the American Train Dispatchers Association. And I also want to acknowledge we have two folks from the White House who decided to join us today. Brian Danaher, TTD alumnus, and Erica Dingle-Smith. So I was trying to think a lot about exactly sort of what Shari has meant to me in my professional life, and most importantly to what she means to TTD. And I keep going back to something that I have told a lot of my colleagues and friends over the years. But over the years, I've had friends of mine, whether they be union labor officials, whether they be lobbyists, whether they be legislative directors, and they describe some sort of problem they're having in the workplace. They're having some issue, whether it be workplace dynamics, whether it be finances, whatever it may be. And my response has always been the same. It sounds like you need a Shari. Because that's what Shari does. She solves things, she fixes things, she gets stuff done, no matter what. And I mean, just to put a point on it, even though we by no means would have expected to do this, she was down here earlier, like 4:30, setting up the freaking AV system for her own damn podium. Like, that is the type of person she is. She is going to take care of you, whether it be in the personal context or the work context. And I'm going to tell a little story here. I know a lot of you have probably heard this before, but after Larry passed away, my predecessor, you know, we were trying to figure out what the hell do we do. We got to deal with our own personal grief. We have a real professional crisis here, and of course we're in the middle of the pandemic. So I'm sitting at home, talking to my wife, trying to like parse through exactly how do we get out of this. And Nora, my wife, said, one of the things that worked so well with you and Larry was that you were real partners. You worked well together. It was a true partnership. And she said, who is your partner? Who is your partner? And immediately I was like, well, it's Shari. She said, there's your answer, right there. And honestly, I could not have had it was the best advice I ever got, to be honest with you. I could not be luckier to have a partner like you, Shari. I could not be more privileged to have someone who can, you know, keep me grounded, give good advice, be a true partner, have my back. Nobody could do that like you. And I think every day I'm thankful that you're here in that office right next to me. And to me, you know, your story, and I know a lot of people said it, and a lot of people are going to talk about this, but your story is the embodiment, and you personally are the embodiment of what the labor movement is and can be at its best. That type of the way of giving opportunities and growing opportunities and empowering workers, empowering women, empowering people of color. That is the embodiment of what we can be at our best. We truly can be. And so I look forward to every year that we have working together going forward, and I promise you, I will do my best not to embarrass you going forward. So, thank you, Shari, and thank you all for coming. And now I want to introduce Ramon Bruce, First Vice President of ATU Local 689.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here today. Beside me is Jennifer Chase. She's one of our executive board members. This is Robert Derry. Also, he's one of our executive board members. And again, my name is Ramon Bruce. Again, my name is Ramon Bruce. I'm the first vice president of Local 689. Our president, Raymond Jackson, he couldn't be here today. He had an emergency in his family. So I'm honored to be here to tell your story, Mrs. Shari. I can't pronounce your name. So, sure. And your family, the history. Ms. Shari has been at TTD and labor movement for over 25 years. Started out as a receptionist and worked her way up. Her great-grandfather came over from Italy in 1913 and became a Local 689 member. Around 1923, working on DC streetcars. 3 generations of men in her family worked on DC railroads and transit systems. Her family altogether has over 200 years of trade union experience in OPEIU Local 2 alone. Local 689 started first with workhorse and buggies and then moved to streetcars to predate Pomada. ATU, originally known as Amalgamated Transit Association of Street Railroad Employees of America. Her great-grandfather may have participated in 3 689 strikes. In 1945, 2 wildcat strikes created the first pension agreement for the local. And our pension is one of the best now. Thank you. In 1951, a 1951 strike to secure seniority rights for all of the non-operators is successful. In 1955, there was a 52-day strike. 689 won the strike. Wolfson lost his franchise at Capital Transit, and Old Roy Chalk was a successful bidder for the new franchise. Transit workers were making starvation wages before unionism. In 1933, data from New York showed operators made $34 a week. Women were paid less. And Ms. Shari, legacy continues. Shari turned out to walk the picket line and bring workers food at our union hall during the circulating Metro Access strike, nearly 100 years after her great-grandfather had joined 689. Ms. Shari, we thank you for that. The workers there have some of the highest raises that they've ever received. Started from probably like $25 an hour. We got them to like $42 an hour now. All right. So we thank you for that. It's an honor, and God bless everyone.
All right, I realized that in the scope of my field of vision, I forgot to recognize a few people here, but I know Al Russo, Director of the Railroad Department for the IBEW. And I forgot, most important, well not most importantly, but I forgot Congressman Donald Norcross is here with us as well. And I also want to thank all the TTD alumni who are here. I think that one of the strongest things about our federation here has been that we train people and bring them into really incredible jobs, launch them into a career of advocating for working people, no matter where they end up. Just off the top of my head, we have, obviously Jennifer Hamady and Brendan Danaher, but Cole Scandalia, we have Julio Cerrone, we have, who else is out there? Oh, Jeff Paffett. Mike Ingrao, former Secretary Treasurer.
Jenny Miller.
And Jenny Miller, of course. And Christy Smith, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at that. But now I want to, it is my distinct honor to invite up to the stage a true champion for working people, someone who has really carried the torch of what the Biden administration means when it says it's pro-work, most pro-worker administration in the history of this country. And Madam Secretary, you truly embody that spirit. So thank you, Secretary Liz.
Thank you so much, Greg, and thank you for telling me about this event and inviting me to be here. President Shuler, thank you as well. And it's so amazing to see so many friends here, my good friend Sarah and so many others, and my colleagues in the White House, Brendan and Erica. And also I just want to thank the labor movement for Bart Shared, who is now at the Department of Labor. Yeah, we say, she's still the labor movement, just in a different capacity for the moment. So, and other colleagues of mine from the Department of Labor who are here. And Congressman, it's so good to see you as well. Thank you for fighting all the difficult fights that you were fighting on all of our behalf. So I just wanted to take a moment to say 25 years, right? So it was about 1999, guess, Shari, when you came to TTD. So in 1999, that was the year that the West Wing debuted, and so did the Euro. DVDs were taking over the world, taking the place of VHS. I know the young people are like, I don't even know what a DVD is. Montana got its first speed limit. Prior to that, people were told to drive with reasonable and at a reasonable and prudent speed. People used movie phones still to find out what time and what movies were showing at the theater. The minimum wage was $5.15. Actually, that one hasn't changed very much. Prince had sung a song about the year, and those of us who are even older were like, it's never going to be 1999, and then it was. And Michael Jordan retired that year. But at that same time, another legend, a 19-year-old young woman, was just beginning her career and came to TTD, and we are here today to celebrate you, Shari. And it's such an honor for me to be able to be here and look you in the eye and meet your family and tell you just how extraordinary you are and how important it is what you have done, and to thank you for your quarter century of service so far.
So far.
Right, that's what's important. Just by looking around this room, you can see the impact that you have had, obviously, the respect that people have for you. I think one of the amazing things about working in the labor movement is you have an impact on people who you know, you have an impact on members that you bring their voices, their experience to every single table that you are at. I know that about you, and I hear that about you. That's what everyone says. That's one of the many remarkable things about you. But because of the impact of unions on the country, on the economy, on the world, you also have made life better for millions of people who you will never meet and who may not know your name, but I want to acknowledge and thank you for that also, for 25 years of doing that. So when Greg told me that this was happening, I said, I can't miss it. Like, I would definitely want to be here. And it's for everything that you have done. It's also, I said this to you directly, but women supporting women is just so important. And all the things you said about her, Greg, you are powerful beyond measure, and you are dedicated, and you kick ass. I have to say that in front of your children, and you bring the strength and the power of women in leadership positions to what you are doing, and I really wanted to call that out and acknowledge it too. You are a mother, a grandmother, a wife, a daughter, and you demonstrate to all of us what is possible in the world when you give something your all. To your TTD family also, I know that you have been really invaluable as well, and I want to acknowledge that work. What you have done is help to build the entire labor movement in your time, in part so that it could be ready for this moment, and we are just in an incredible moment for the labor movement in this country. Gregory said this, but we have the most pro-worker, pro-union president ever in history, and we are working every single day to make good on that commitment, to make good on that promise, to do that every possible way, and the fact that the labor movement can step into that, obviously you all have built it, right? It's because of your organizing, your bargaining, your solidarity. But for us to be able to create a climate in which unions can really step up and embrace the power that you have, and know that when you are strong, America is stronger, and when workers do well, everyone does better, is a testament to everybody in this room, and especially Shari, to the incredible work that you have done. So I'm here to toast you and to thank you, and to tell you that I look forward to seeing what you were doing next, and to support that in every way as well. So congratulations to you.
Okay, thank you, Secretary, that was wonderful. I forgot Elizabeth Baker over there, another TTD alum, is in the house. Now I just want to introduce, my friend, the leader of the American Labor Movement, Liz Shuler.
Oh my gosh, I was just talking to Shari, and she said, I think I'm having an out-of-body experience, because she's so humble, and to have all these folks, our Secretary of Labor talking about your impact, I mean, it is truly amazing. And I just want to say thank you everyone for being here in the House of Labor. I always love being in front of this mural because it represents, in the one in the other room, the evolution of work. And that's what we do. We fight every single day for our members, for working people across this country. And I'm so happy to have our leaders, our congressional friends, our White House colleagues here. And just a big thank you to Greg, who had a big day today on Capitol Hill. I'm just honored to be here to say a few words about Shari, because I have seen Shari quietly for many years, working a lot of times behind the scenes, as was said about the AV equipment. And I think as women leaders, we often do that, right? We're in the shadows, we're kind of behind the scenes doing the work that needs to be done. And to step into a leadership role like this takes incredible courage. So I just want to say kudos to you right off the top for that. We did hear from our ATU siblings the incredible history that your family has had, and I know your parents are here, which is also, and your children and your husband, to think back on what you've been through, coming through the pandemic, you two leading together, and that would have been obviously really, really difficult on its face, but it would have been easier to just sort of sit back and, slow down. But you didn't do that. You actually, kept moving forward, kept everyone together. And I just want to say TTD went big, went bold, and, built on that incredible foundation that Larry laid, and, took that moment of change and really seized it. And it's been a pleasure and a privilege to fight alongside you as you've evolved into this position. And so I'm not going to go through the history, because I think we already heard about your union label. Do you have a tattoo somewhere on your body with this 200 collective union membership years in your family? Clearly you have DNA that is, I think anyone in this room could not even compete with. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your aunts, uncles, cousins, firefighters, letter carriers, Teamsters, communication workers, police officers. I mean, you can't go through the entire list because it's so long, but I think shortly after you took this position, there was a profile piece written on you. And you said, they said, what does it mean to have labor so entrenched in your family? What does that mean to you? And you said two things. First, it means we know how to fight. It means we need to break through the constraints we have, break out of the status quo that we're stuck in, create a better life for ourselves. It means women like your mother, Marie, who needed work when I think your father was in Vietnam serving our country. And you had the chance to work in the labor movement starting as a temp in the DC Labor Council, and then rising over 16 years yourself to become Secretary to the President, which, I mean, what a trajectory there. Let's give her a hand. And then second point, which I love this one, union means family. And you talked about going to work with your aunt and your mom, walking in there just to kind of see how proud everyone was of the work that they did, and how happy everyone was to be together, and this sense of friendship and community. And I couldn't agree more, and I just feel like every day we're taking on these big fights, and we cannot forget that notion of friendship and community that we as a labor movement really bring to the work we do every day, that sense of belonging, that sense of joy, and a sense of community. So that's exactly what you've created at TTD. And in fact, when you were talking about alumni, who knew all the names of the alumni? Shari's over here. Oh, that person. Right? So she knows it all, and that's the career you've built, and you've done this work every step of the way. As was said, from entry level on up to the top, and throwing yourself into every aspect of the work, and that's why you're so supremely competent at the role that you're doing. And I was gonna say, I first met you, in a different role, obviously, but when Greg asked, I think when he asked you to consider taking on this role, you do what many women do, and you questioned yourself, and you said, is this the position for me? Am I qualified for this position? Am I ready for this position, right? And I think that's what many women do in our movement, because often we've been told over time, like, that's not a position for you, right? So I just want to say, thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes, and thank you for your incredible strength and resilience to take on this leadership role, and TTD is so much better because you did.
Hear, hear.
And thank you for being an inspiration to all of us, especially women, in our movement, to every worker, and leading TTD in so many courageous ways. So it is my great honor now to bestow upon you the 25-year Milestone Award to the Secretary-Treasurer of the Transportation Trades Department, Shari Semelsberger.
The mic is yours.
But I love having
Yeah, Shari.
This is amazing. I do feel like I'm up here looking down at this moment. I never honestly thought that I was going to be here.
Take your time, take your time.
Yeah, I am very proud. I'm very honored, especially to have everybody in this room with me today. I don't even know. I don't even know how to put it into words. I was trying to prepare what I was going to say when my staff so informed me just days ago that we were having this. And I think, like Liz said, it's just it's family, and it's all I know. And my mom, she's here. She not only had 16 years at the DC Labor Council, but she spent 23 and a half years at the firefighters. So she retired with 40 years of service to the labor movement. My dad is a Vietnam veteran. He's here this evening. Thank you. Served in 8 chapters of the labor movement throughout his career. He is a master plumber, retired from the White House, master plumber. My husband Paul, he's He's here as well. Retired from the AFL-CIO after over 31 years of service. My sister-in-law, Jennifer, has over 2 decades at the IAFF herself. And my children are here as well. Callie and Christian, wave guys. So, I may have asked Greg a few times, or made him ask me rather a few times, because I was very hesitant. My family is very important to me. And I was afraid that I was gonna have to give up that time with them. And that was a promise he made to me, that that would never happen. And he has 100% held true to that. So, thank you. This foundation has taught me many things. The most important is that jobs with good wages and benefits exist because of unions. And that solidarity means family. And that rising to the top doesn't mean that I have to give up what is most important to me. And today I'm not only celebrating 25 years in the labor movement, but a movement that has given my family the ability to live the American dream. And a movement that continues to fight for working families, and one that empowers individuals without prejudice, because a union contract isn't biased, it's for everyone. And I'm honored to be celebrated tonight, but more importantly, proud of the work, to work with our staff and our affiliates and your members every single day. And so may you always be proud of the work that you do and the difference that you make. And I won't ask you to we'll just do it all over again next year.
All right, thank you all so much. I do want to acknowledge Samantha Brown and Tori Mandato, who really did all the hard work to get this together, as well as the rest of the staff that did a lot of outreach. We do really have an incredible team here at TTD, and we're blessed that you all are here and part of it, and happy to come celebrate Shari. So thank you all, and enjoy the booze and food.